Okay, welcome back to Empire of the Sun. He It was a Japanese card play, and what he did was he played the Indian Worker Strike card for three ops, and then what he did was, as you can see up here in Burma, all of a sudden in northern India there are no longer any Japanese units up here. He's basically turned tail and run. The 1812 unit that was up here has moved to Rangoon, and some of the air units have basically just cleared out. So he's basically given up on India, which I don't blame him. It's his position has pretty much collapsed there, and so he started turning tail and running. He did use. What's interesting was he did use the Indian worker strike card, which I guess it's a shame that he wasn't able to really well, shame for him, not for me, uh, to take India, because this would have been a good card. That Indian worker strike would have been a good card for him to have to use as the event in India, because primarily it moves the India marker one box towards India revolts. So what would have happened was is that if he had been able to hold northern India, so he would have moved unrest, and then at the end of the turn, and then the Indian worker strike would have moved. Oh, sorry, the Indian worker strike card would have moved the India marker from stable to unrest. Then at the end of the turn, he would have moved it to strikes, all right, down two levels. And if we had, say, a dumpster dive card, which is like a anti-ISR card, which would allow him to go back into this discard pile and pull out a particular card, it's good strategy for him to pick up the Indian Workers' Strike and play it again for the event, because then what would happen is that effectively at the end of the turn he would have been able to move the India marker three levels to the left. So he would have gone from stable to unrest to strikes all the way to unstable. So it would have been really, really interesting. He would have made life very interesting in India had he been able to do that. The Indian Worker Strike card also has the effect of costing the Allies one ground replacement steps and no replacement steps for any Commonwealth units. So no replacements in India and northern Burma. So that would have been an interesting card for the Japanese to have been able to use for the event. But unfortunately, with the way things turned out in India for him, he was forced to basically abandon India and use that for the ops instead of the event. Still, that would have been nice for him to have been able to be in a position to use that for the event, because then life may have gotten a little bit more interesting for him in uh, there. Okay, all right. So what's next? So what I did was I played out of the FO. I went ahead and played the Operation Detachment card, the Iwo Jima card out of the FO, which gave me um, eight activation by Central Pack HQ, which I did, and says an allied ground unit must make an amphibious move to a hex within 10 hexes of Tokyo, or the card must be used as an OC. So I got to land somewhere. And so what I did was I cobbled together a major naval offensive, and I landed in Marcus Island with the 2nd Marine Division of the 24th Army Corps. Remember, there's a rule that says that in one hex islands, a Marine division has to go in as well, in addition to an Army unit. If you want, if you want, you can't be assaulted. A one hex island cannot be assaulted solely by an Army unit. It has to be accompanied by, there has to be at least one Marine unit. So that's basically what's going on. They've gone in. I expect this to be very bloody. Why? Because remember, the Japanese are rolling in with a +3 here on the land combat. So anything, if you rolls a 6 or above, okay, 6 or above, which is 40% possibility. 6 or above with a +3 gives him 9, which is a ×2 result. So he's going to inflict 18 points of damage on me. 18 points of damage. And the allies, remember, the allies defend at half strength. So these units, these 2212 and 1212 units, all are actually defending at 6. So there's a 40% chance I will lose 3 steps. Okay, so that's pretty darn bloody. In exchange, if I take him out, which is more than likely, as a matter of fact, it's a guarantee, because 34, the worst I can do is a half result. That's 17 that would take him out. But still, I would take out 1 step of his for 3 steps of me. And that's pretty darn bloody. But, what are you going to do? That's just the way it is. He's got a 912 defending that place. So he's either I take it, or I leave it. I can't. It's not going to starve to death. It's not like I can cut it off. Plus the fact that there are no land-based air bases here where I can put land air units and cut this guy off from supply. So it's got to be taken. It's going to be taken. So it's going to get pretty darn bloody. So anyway, so I did that. Also did some attacks here in India, in Iwo Jima, to try to pin units, and also to try to attrit his air units. Remember, our strategy now is try to attrit air units. Again, also in Palau, again, the purpose of pinning this 912 ground unit. I sent in the Enterprise and the Battlefield Washington to pin that, and then I used this guy, this 13th Air Force long range unit, to pin the reaction stack over here at Davao. Okay, so that's basically what's going on in this turn. See what happens with the results of the combat, and see you in the next video. Thank you very much.